Once you learn to concentrate, you can then contemplate. You can then focus on analysis. You can then focus on what it is that you're carrying within you that you need to flush out of your system. If even for 2 minutes you just experience the heaviness in your body, in your mind, you will feel like you weigh 100 times more than what you actually weigh. Because you are carrying a weight, but you're ignoring it. But there is no escape. You can ignore it, it's not the solution. You can keep covering it. It's like you take an onion, put a cover of a piece of cloth on it. It'll still have the smell. The longer you leave that onion there, the more the covers you need to somehow hide that smell. So the longer you keep this negativity in you, the more covers you need. The more covers you have, the heavier you become. The weaker you become. More insecure you get naturally. You become more fearful. You don't want your covers off. And that is the whole fear. Because let alone others, you can't put on with your own smell. So meditation is just one of the methods. You are hurt, you are carrying a baggage, you are heavy. Believe me, that is why you cannot meditate. Meditation is flying. And you have to be light in order to fly. Because you drop your ego when you sleep. You don't know who you are. That is why you're able to sleep. So you can forget about all that you don't want to forget about. You know the key? You don't want to forget about it. That's what I'm saying. It's not that you cannot forget about it. You don't want to forget about it. Somehow there is a sense of superiority, a sense of joy that I'm holding on to. Somebody did something bad to me and I'm holding on to it. Fallaciously, it's just so silly, so paradoxical, it gives you strength sometimes. I'm going to show it to him. I'm going to prove it. But there is nothing to prove to nobody. Everybody is tired. Really tired. People I know, they would, if not for their kids, they would not even be living with their partners. That is how sad the state of affairs is. And that's not because of the other person. That is only because of you. And you're not the cause. But you are certainly the consequence. You are the reason for sure. The cause is conditioning by the society. The shoulds and the haves and the have-nots. You have to do this, you should do this, you must do this. And so on and so forth. A father was telling his child, and he was playing outside on the streets. He called him in. He said, do you know what Abraham Lincoln was doing when he was your age? And the child said, Father, do you know he was a president when he was your age? Trouble is, we deal with everybody as if it's us. For all the negative things. Not for all the good things. As if somebody just owes, the world owes me something. My partner owes me something. My child owes me something. There was a bird, an old bird, and it had a nest. There were young birds in it. And they were deforesting in that area. So it thought, I must migrate my young ones to a safer place. So one by one, it decided to cross a whole, there was a wide river, and it had to flee across. So it held one of the young ones in the beak and said, tell me, will you take care of me when you grow up? Like I'm taking care of you now? He said, of course, Father. And he dropped him. He said, it is impossible. You're lying. You're just saying it to get across. You're just saying it because it's a convenient response right now. And he did the same to two other of his young ones. And the last one he was taking across. He said, tell me when you grow up, will you take care of me like I'm taking care of you? See how hard I'm working right now? And the young one said, I would love to, Father, but I'm sorry, I can't be bound. I don't know where I will be. But I can make you one promise. I will take care of my young ones like you're taking care of me. In the Eastern culture in particular, we have this thing that kids will grow up and take care of their parents. But you and I both know how practical that is. You know, I was saying how impractical that is, right? It's just not possible. Vaisi gata kah kama vikar, shushke neere kah kasar, kshine vitte kah parivaro, gyate tattva kah sansar. Just like pond is not pond without water. Just like your physical senses subdue themselves with age, just like a family cannot stay together when there is lack of wealth. They've got to feed themselves. They will go where employment takes them. Similarly, Shankaracharya writes, when you gain wisdom, then this world changes for you. Your viewpoint changes. The way you look at the world changes. And everything is in that viewpoint. If that changes, everything else changes. In fact, that is the only thing you have to change, if anything. Your viewpoint. How you see others, how you look at things, how you take them. If that perspective changes, there is nothing else to change. Koham kastam kutayata, kame janani ko me tata, iti paribhavya sarvam saram vishwatakat pakatva swapana vichar. Who is my mother and who is my father? Who am I and who are you? What are all these questions? These are all transient relationships, impermanent. Renounce this world like you get up from a dream. When you get up and you were having a dream, when you wake up, you know I was just dreaming. You don't really take that dream seriously, do you? But when the dream is happening, you are absolutely in it. But later on you say, well, that was just a dream. There was a king, his only son was dying. Young son was sitting next to his queen. And the physicians said he is about to breathe his last any minute now. Could be 10 minutes, could be 100 minutes, could be a few hours, that's all. And the king had been awake for so many days. He was sitting by the side of his son and he dozed off. And he saw a dream. In the dream, he saw he had 12 sons. And his queen is coming, running towards him in the dream. And is saying, the enemy forces have attacked our kingdom. They have killed every single one of our 12 sons. Not even one is left alive. And the king is stunned. He's shocked. He's unable to cry. And the queen is shaking him, giving him a jolt. What's wrong with you? Why aren't you crying? And then he woke up from his dream. And he saw in real life, the queen was actually shaking him and said, our son is dead. Why aren't you crying? Our only son. And the king said, who should I cry for? The 12 dead ones or this dead one here? There is this divine acceptance if you really accept the fact that everything is impermanent, that people will change, circumstances will change, the world will change, situations will change, and you will change as well. And if you just rise above classifying it as changing for the good or changing for the worse, then you have already attained the meditative states. There is no more to it. Avyakta adini bhutani vyakta madhyani bharata vyakta nidhananyeva tatra ka paridevana. Krishna says, for who are you crying, Kontai? These people, you could not see them before you were born in this body. Do you know who they were to you? They were disappeared. They just were not there for you. And they won't be there after you're not there. If you drop your body, for you, it's another story. It's pralay, it's another time. So tell me, what is the cause of your grief? You don't know who they were 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and now you've so attached yourself that you think this is my life. So if your life is revolving around an artifact that is impermanent, then you can well imagine you will go through a cyclical emotional cycle. So is it possible to let go of your families? I'm not saying you should let go of your families. Never. But what I am saying is, make sure you make yourself the center of your own universe. That somehow you find something that gives you joy, that makes you happy, that gives you fulfillment, that makes you feel complete. And you start doing it. It may not be meditation, it may be dancing. And you have to discover what that is for you. Meditation is no panacea. It is not the solution to everything. But it can bring your mind to a halt so you can carry out penetrating analysis with discerning wisdom. It can give you that break, that pause, so you can analyze what it is that you want and how do you want to go about it. Otherwise, you'll keep on going. And one day there's going to be a knock. Then it'll be too late.